Greetings, dear ones. Welcome. Take this moment to wait for you to arrive. Any questions to put out? Welcome, Huna Mauta, Tara Lee, watching. Huna Tattoo from Vienna just joined. Hi. Kami Pulin, hi. Welcome. Huna Manima, he's actually sitting over here. Over here. It's like this everywhere. We're everywhere. Welcome, thanks for being here. Very beautiful day here in Shaman, the house of Huna. Welcome, Shaman from Ireland. Hi, thank you for being here. I hope you're keeping warm over there in the UK and in Vienna. We're having a good time here at House of Huna. Visiting with us is Huna Wawhitira, the lighthouse. He might sing a song for us later. He just found that out just now. Oh, welcome all the Hunas there. Huna Wahinamu. Hey, trying to keep track of all the Hunas now. And Huna Umne is it? It's been a minute, Phyllis. Welcome. Welcome, Tahakari, excuse me. Hello. Thank you for visiting. Thank you for being here. This is our first live, Facebook Live for these Ask Huna Flash Live, getting the butterflies happening. Welcome, Kodula from Heilbronn, Germany. You can remind me of your Huna, please, if you'd like to. It's been a moment. And the Huna Jilliness, Huna Matariki, hi. Hi, Kirsty. Good to see you from the UK. I'll be being warm there too. You've got to warm the place up for me. I'll be arriving there. January 8, 9, I'll be in the UK. So I'll try to bring some sun with me anyway. Looks like we're getting a nice little visit here. Thank you so much. Huna Katitoka. She's over there on the West Coast in the States. Portland. Hi, Aura. Nice to meet you. Maybe the first time, I think, perhaps. Thank you for being here. Greetings, dear ones. We've been having a lot of fun lately shooting all these videos. Incredible mastery, incredible Hunery by Huna Manima. Nico Martin's listed. Let me just give a shout out to him right now. He's over there. And anybody needs the Hunery, of the mastery of the Hunery, of the dolphin technology for your websites and your back office technology, he is the one. Let me just put that out there. So with all of this happening and all the videos that we've been doing, thanks to him and for his guidance and help me move through all of this. In the last 2 weeks, we've done 25 videos. It's incredible. Everything is accelerating. So, well, we have, I haven't counted, but there's a number of you here this morning. So let us, if you'd like to, who would like to jump in with the first question? It's sort of first come, first serve. As soon as I see a question in there, we can get the ball rolling, as it were. We're rolling through the universe, rolling through the omniverse. We're rolling through the land of Gregoria into the land of Lemuria. Yeah. And it's very interesting having got a message from the YouTube comments about one of our sisters had a dream last night that she was seeing all new stars and new constellations opening up. So that's incredible. And of course, when you're in the journey time, you're quite possibly ahead of schedule from the destiny universes, yeah? Let's keep it like that. That's a lot of fun. And so this being our first live, and hopefully not the last. So we are looking at doing this perhaps once a month. I will be in, I think we'll do the next one from Luxor, from Egypt. And so we're looking at doing this on a monthly basis for sure. And so hopefully the questions will come along. So if anybody's ready, anybody's willing to drop a question out there. I don't see one right now, so maybe I'm not looking in the right place. Apparently I am, so.
Maybe talk about what's coming up until the first question.
Yeah, information on what's coming up before the question. I leave to Bratislava, Slovakia next week to do a series of incredible ceremonies for the Lion Queen and the Giant Kings of Lemuria. Returning the blueprint codes that seed the light back into the form from Lemuria. So we'll be in Slovakia, we'll be in Athens, I'll be in Scotland and wrap it up in Scotland before I come home here. Other things that we are looking at, some pretty profound, quite a profound understanding we're looking at doing for the elections in November next year. During the election time, we're understanding we have an understanding to return the energies, a ceremony or a protocol to return the energies that are being siphoned off and harvested during the election time from not only the ones who are eligible to vote in the United States, but these energies affect everybody around the world, as you all know. So on that certain day, we're going to put together, hopefully invite everyone to join us to deliver and administer an incredible ceremony and protocol. We will have the instructions for it with plenty of time ahead. However, we're going to be working with a Trinity team from the constellations. Let me just check here. I gotta look to see if there's questions down here.
Scroll.
This one? Oh, this one. Okay, I'm looking at the wrong screen. I have too many screens. Okay. Oh, we got lots of questions. Okay. First question there, seeing it from Huna Katitoka from Petra. She asks, what is the significance of the Polaris star? What is the significance of the Polaris star is that it is no longer Polaris. In the Lemurian, it is in the Gregorian, but even in the historic of the Gregorian, it was once the Draconia star. Yeah. Now those energies of that star was returned to higher light, which became Polaris. And then as distortions continued to go through and drive through the time loop and the constellational alignments to the North Star, Polaris became distorted, has distortion. And so now in the Lemurian calendar, those distortions are being cleaned up by the Okapi Motu, which is the light being of the North Star, representing the North Star. So we speak to the North Star now as the Okapi Motu, which is the birth sign, the North Star birth sign, and that's aligned to this month, December. The significance is that the apex, the North Star, also referred to as the apex, aligned to the Okapi Motu, to the birth star, birth sign, derives the energy from the center core of the crystal cave, the crystal core of the planet, and is connected there to the southern star. So they are now communicating in two-way communications, the North Star or the Okapi Motu and the southern star. That's very significant. So this is how the distortion is being cleaned out for that star. I hope that helps. I see Rebecca, Huna Haraki. Her question is, you mentioned that the planets have shifted and the blue graph is changing. Can you mention something about that, the blue graph? I'm not exactly sure what you mean by blue graph, but the planets have shifted in the scientifically, they're trying to understand it. They know there have been shifts out there with the constellations and the stars. Energetically, we have been feeling them. We have been seeing them. We have been. They have been affecting our healing modalities. Certainly, for those who are doing energy healing, feeling an intensity and feeling a shift within your DNA as that's aligned to these shifting of these planets and the magnetic forces. Now, you mentioned the blue graph is changing. What I see that you may mean by that is that the blue or the blue order or the blue ray is helping to make things change or helping to change in the order of the blue order coming back into alignment with the 24-strand DNA from 12 to 24, which is a double density 12-strand DNA, makes it 24. And so yes, that's a major shift and major changing. That's the shifting in the rotation. So shifting from the clockwise rotation into the counterclockwise rotation, allowing it for it to be open-ended and uncapped. So removing the ceiling. I like these questions. Huna Matariki, the chilliness. Her question is, how can we connect more with our Lemurian calendar animals and bring their energy to us? Yes. Connecting yourself to the motu of your month is certainly the beginning. When you look at the star map, particularly this one over here, Sector 3, with the 12 creatures, you go from your position, which is aligned to your month, and then you align the Trinity, and you'll see that there is a Trinity configuration with 2 other Motu. Of course, you can download that image and or print it off. I believe they are on the website, on the resources page, and we're also having an introductory class to it as well soon. And so they will bring you more information and more connection as you align those trinities and understand the trinities that align with you, and the medicines from Sector 2, which is right here. See that magenta and the pink? Those beings are aligned to each of the 12 as well. And we have the languaging and the codes and the essence names for these beings. Okay, Huna Wahinamu, Neurosol from Denmark. The question is, are the eclipses and solstices that are occurring active or present when you follow the light calendar? And another part of the question, in the moon cycle. Or when you move into undistorted light line, are these star events not occurring there, but of course other and new alignments are? Well, so the first part of that question is, are the eclipses and the solstices occurring active or present when you follow the light calendar? They are active, but in the light calendar they have a whole nother meaning, a whole nother intention, as they are aligning up with the seasons, with you, as you are lined up with the seasons of the light calendar. The story changes. And the cycles, the moon cycles also, and we were talking about this last night, about the 13 cycles. Certainly in the light calendar, as we are understanding the number of days in a year, that the 13 moon cycles, and I always referred to this as being 12 plus 1. 12 plus 1, the 1 being the 13th, but actually not 13, it's 1. The 12 plus 1 through the light calendar is an understanding that we gift 1 back. We gift 1 rotation back. Who are we gifting it back to? Source. Why should we do that? Because we gift. Because it is also acknowledgement, is also understanding this connection with source. If we give 1 back and we understand that 1 is source. So recognition of source, 12 plus 1. In the Gregorian, it's merely 13 cycles, and it's spoken of this way, also 13th sun, 13th moon, black moon, black sun. And as a black moon, as a black sun, that's a portal, that's an access point. In the Lemurian light calendar, it becomes access to source. So it's actually a gateway to the one, which is why we speak of this in ceremony, and many councils are seated in the 12 around 1, or 12 plus 1. So yeah, it's present and it's active, but the story is changed, flipped 180 degrees. And I suppose that's the more deeper understanding, is that in the light calendar, things flip 180 degrees. Right? It's almost like when a politician tells you one thing, you know he's going to do another. Who do we know that does that? Who do we know that does that? You know, we know that Trump does that. We know that when he says one thing, we look forward to him doing a different thing. This is Gregorian into the light calendar, Lemurian. So when the Gregorian's doing one thing, understand it from 180 degrees opposite into the positive, into light time, and not a time loop, but a light time where it's open-ended and you're able to move into the destinies and receive from the destinies. And there are many other alignments, yes, sir. We can get into that. It's another question, really. It's a whole nother answer. I have a question here from Huna Mauta, Robin. Her question is, at what point do we dissolve or disconnect from the chakra system? I feel they are not in alignment with first light. At what point do we disconnect from the chakra system? Well, you can do that right now. I can share with you for myself, I am with the 1-star chakra. In other words, all chakras activated. In terms of maintenance, well, in terms of maintenance, I show up, or I do the things that give me joy. I walk the walk, I talk the talk as best I can. I give service. We do the healing. We practice our tools and our modalities, and that continues to keep our energies, our light, vibrations, frequencies, and magnetics attuned and aligned and active. And what this does is it creates expansion and capacity. That's what we always talk about: more expansion, more capacity. As this happens, your 1-star, all of your chakras start to activate and ignite together, and then you become this 1-star chakra to actually be your Merkaba on the ground, or your white star on the ground. Yes, and you know, of course, in the Gregorian, they will remind you of your wounds. They will remind you you have work to do. They'll remind you that you're a sinner. They'll remind you all of these things, and continue to keep reminding you of this, as many of the planets in the constellations in the scope of horrors of the Gregorian, to remind you to remain stuck, to remind you that it's a battle, to remind you that you have to keep fighting, when really you don't. Really, it is done. Really, it is done. You can also feel the light from the Gregorian side, so you know it's coming through. But that operating system keeps you out of alignment. You will continue to say, and many will continue to say otherwise, and do their alignments, and certainly be with each other, be together. That's alignment. Alignment is being together is an alignment. That's fine. That's not what I'm saying. The operating system is changing. It's moving over to Lemurian light time, and that is quite another thing. Again, 180 degrees difference. There's another question up here. Oh, Alan Berg says, "Hi, loves." And you can see that, but I will just respond. "Hi, love. Thank you for being here." Angelina, thank you for joining here. I'm trying to go up and down this thread now because there are other alphabetical orders here. Okay. Ruby Lara, thank you for joining. Kathy. Let me look for another question here. Someone else with another question. Julie Devereaux. Hi, Julie. Thank you for the question. Julie asked a question: how can I get a Lemurian calendar of my own? We have a handful of the first edition remaining. Would you mind passing me one? The calendar? I want to show you. It's up here on the. This is the first edition, and we are right in the middle of creating the next edition, the second edition. But if you haven't seen it, for those who haven't, this is the first edition. You can still order this calendar. We only have a handful left, so and so we can get it to you. But this is a real beauty. I love this. Was our first work of art. It's a lot of good memories bringing this to everyone and understanding all the symbols and the codes. So you can order this one. Obviously, this was released in June, so it's 6 months in, and you know that the year begins for the light calendar in June, and so you can still buy it. It'll be a reduced rate, of which I don't know what it is right now, but it will be reduced, and we'll get ready to produce. We're getting ready to produce the next calendar, the next edition. And so, yes, you can still buy another one. Won't be for much longer, though. Julie said she'll take it. Just want to thank Maria for joining us here, and Diana Cook. Hi, Diana. Welcome. I see Adama Samida there. Huna, Adama Samida. Good, Samara, good to see you, brother. Welcome. Ivona. Also, hi, thank you for stopping by. If there's any more questions, I'm happy to take a couple more questions, and we're going to be close to wrapping up after that. Another question from Huna Mauta. What was it? No, a response. He said, yes, this month is my animal. So yes, for Huna Mauta, December, this is the 7th month of the light calendar, and it is in the North Star at this moment. In the North Star. The North Star and the being, which is the Okapi, the forest giraffe, Okapi Motu. So with just an example, with Huna Mauta being aligned to the North Star, the essence of that being, the Okapi Motu, is the light of Father that is also in the mother, in everyone. But certainly the aspect light of the apex North Star is the light of Father through this being. And incredibly so, as I understand, Huna Mauta, she has a very powerful light of Father within her. Just for your understanding, you know, the North Star and the Okapi Motu is located, has a continental location, which for the Okapi is Africa, South, Central, and Central Africa. For us, the Africa is made up of 3 continents, not 1. Aluna says love to all, and Huna Amida Samaras says aloha to everyone, and myself, thank you, brother. If there's one other question, I can take one more question, and then we're going to bounce. Okay, you know, there was a question that came in late last night, I believe. Well, here's a question here now. Make this the last question. This question is from Inger Arnes or Arns. The question is, does the change to Lemurian calendar affect the way astrology is being set up and explained? Star signs. Thank you, Kumara, brother. Absolutely. Almost 2 years ago, or over a year ago, I went to a conference to visit and meet Dr. Marie Robitaille, a gentleman who is a solar physicist. And his work in the solar physicist world as an astrophysicist and physicist, a solar physicist, a nuclear physicist as well, and also magnetics. He was responsible for creating the MRI machine and taking it to a Tesla level, which they call Tesla 8. It wasn't thought possible. But this gentleman discovered a whole new set of rules and whole new set of guidelines concerning the sun and through solar knowledge, and that because of that, what he's discovered there, he's said that astrology needs to be rewritten now. And astrology was based on the 1850s information, right, from the scientists of that time. And he had even mentioned that the scientific world, into some of the information was not based upon empirical, experimental information or testing. Some of it was supposition based upon loose experimentation. So that's kind of a big deal. You know, it's kind of a big deal. So I go to this conference, and some of the biggest names, some heavyweights in the science world of nuclear science, and were attending, and there was some incredible information that came out, speaking to constellations and stars that have changed their locations or not where they were said to have been. Even though we have some of the best cameras in the world, some of the information is also being, hidden and kept secret for reasons of discovery. Of course, somebody wants to keep that information secret. So we're not, number one, we're being lied to, not being told the information. Number two, we have scientists that have come out and literally said the information's wrong, and that astrology has to be rewritten. So from the scientific perspective, yes. From my perspective and the Lemurian calendar, yes. The ancient New Gates, through the understanding of light time, positioning is quite different. Again, we're 180 degrees opposite of the Gregorian understanding, and all the Gregorian understandings from that calendar that rotates clockwise show you the constellations aligned to the Gregorian, which, as we know, is a time trap. And so these star signs behind me here, the Motu, the birth signs, they're aligned to the Lemurian light codes, the Lemurian constellations, the stargates. The languaging is Lemurian. The language is translatable. We're going to be sharing more of that as we go through these coming weeks, and look forward to that. And so thank you for that question. I hope that is a good enough answer. That's the last question for this first edition of Ask Huna Flash Live. Thank you so much for all your responses, and for those showing up here. Let me just shout out to Kerry Wallace, who came by, and Teresa De La Vega. Hi and bye. Sorry. We're only doing this 33-minute deal, so we like the numbers 33 as you do. So let's save these questions for the next Facebook Live, which will be coming to you live from Luxor in February, from the House of Huna House 2 in Luxor. We have a new house that we now own, and have access to do more gatherings in Luxor too. So we have Huna there in Luxor in Egypt. And so I want to thank you very much. Thank you for those who just showed up. Huge love to you all. I really do hope that you're able to integrate and receive the Lemurian calendar, or once I called it the calendar of first light. So we're going from the land of Gregoria into the land of Lemuria. We are returning home to first light, where light time is infinite and has no loops, and wide open for your journeys and for you to receive yourself from the destiny. Understand and connect to your motus, your birth signs there with the 12 creatures, and learn the medicines and the medicines of those beings that are in the light. Of course, you can feel these things. You can feel it in the atmosphere. You're feeling all these changes. let's bring some understanding and some knowledge to it so you can also enjoy this walk. And let's just say stand tall to be able to speak and stand tall and stand in your power. Yeah. Let me just say as we're closing here, my name is Huna Mauta Kumara Taki Nimarana, aka Huna Flash. And let me just say, I stand in my power for the mother. I am in the light of Father, that I serve the child, and I would invite all to serve the light child that is coming. As we return back to the light, we will enter. And when you do, we'll be here to catch each other, yeah? That's what a lot of this is about. Thank you so much. Much love. Waho wahi. Waho wahi, which means unconditional everything. To the Huna, love you all. To all the harmonized who are here, love you all too. Thank you so much. See you out there.